You've held your gathering celebration to say goodbye to your pastor. You've made arrangements with the Synod office for an interim pastor to provide worship leadership, to make hospital visits, to attend council meetings. You've even asked a retired teacher in your congregation to take over the adult Bible class. So, what do you do next? Your council president calls the Synod office and sets up a date and a time for an assistant to the bishop to meet with your council. This begins the process of calling your next pastor. The first important and very essential step in that process is for your congregation council to fill out your ministry site profile. The Ministry Site Profile, or MSP for short, provides information about your congregation to pastors in the ELCA who are considering the possibility that God might be calling them to a different location. The Ministry Site Profile is designed to stimulate your reflection about your congregation. In your MSP, you summarize your congregation's characteristics. You describe the ministry that you're doing in your congregation and your community right now. And you look to the future, to where you want to be as a congregation in 3 or 5 or maybe even 10 years. Your Ministry Site Profile is your vision statement. It will be shared with pastors who have expressed an interest in finding out more about your congregation. And it will also be the first impression that your next pastor will have of who you are. As you begin work on your MSP, pay special attention to how you write your summary description, since what you write in that section will be featured prominently for every pastor in the ELCA to read in the, quote, current openings page of the ELCA website. Your Ministry Site Profile provides statistical information about your congregation and your community. It gives a brief history of where you've been, a description of your ministry and the life of your congregation now, and as you reflect on your congregation's past and present, you lay out your plan for the future. You write about where and what you hope to be as a congregation next year and beyond. Your MSP can almost be like a roadmap, showing the direction that you want to go, and of course giving an indication of who you want to be as God's people in your location. Part 1 of the Ministry Site Profile contains the information about you. It asks for your congregation's name, address, the type of ministry site, the year organized, details like that. It has spaces to include the contact information for your council president and for the chair of your call committee. It has a section on the demographics of your community and congregation, gender comparison, age distribution, average worship attendance, last year's budget totals, and much more. The information may take you some time to gather, and you'd be wise to check the latest available census data for your community, which can be very helpful. Part 2 is your vision for mission. This is where you lay out the trends in your community and congregation, your context, your programs, your goals, and your energy. You chart the characteristics of your congregation and describe your purpose, your giftedness, and your mission. You are also asked to provide references to that potential pastor may want to contact and talk to those references about your congregation. In Part 3, you describe your leadership needs. This is where you list how many years of experience you would like your next pastor to have. You will be asked to choose from a list of over 30 different tasks, the 5 that you consider to be the most crucial tasks in ministry for your next pastor. And in the Gifts for Ministry section, you will be asked to mark the 5 gifts for ministry that you consider essential for your next pastor and the 5 additional gifts that you think would be very helpful. Under the Mutual Expectations section, you're asked to list the 5 primary areas of activity on which you would like your new pastor to work and focus on during his or her first year of ministry in your congregation. In addition, you're also asked to list the 5 ways that you, as a congregation, will support and encourage your pastor during that first year. Part 4 encourages you to offer additional information or commentary. It asks for items that will help a potential pastor appreciate the vision and the opportunities and the challenges of your ministry site. This is another way for you to promote and commend your ministry possibilities to a potential pastoral nominee. Now, I know that all of this sounds like quite a lot, and quite frankly, it is. Your ministry site profile is where you prayerfully explain who you are as a congregation now and provide a vision of where you want to be in the future. In it, you're describing what you see as possibilities for the ministry that lies ahead. And in your ministry site profile, you're committing yourselves to that ministry. You're asking God to send the pastor who will work with you to live as God's people for years to come, to grow as God's children in your church, in your community, and in the world. If you need help with completing your ministry site profile, please call the Synod office and ask to talk to the assistant to the bishop who works with call process. Resources are available to help you work through the ministry site profile and to tell the story of your congregation's past, present, and future. May God continue to hold you close in all that you do. Thank you.